Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're going to create a cute little fall card using some new to me stamps from Photoplay's Say It with Stamps collection by Becky Moore. So super cute. It's called Acorn Critters. And I love all the little critters that could be peeking out of the acorn. So cute. So we are going to jump in and do a little bit of paper piecing and a little bit of Copic coloring. We're going to do a little bit of both. Super easy with the acorn because it's just basically a solid image. There's no detail cuts with it. And when I was separating my dies, you can see my little purple tape that's new. I actually poked my finger with one of those little tabs. You want to be careful when you separate your dies. I was kind of rushing, but we are going to stamp first our little critter. I chose this guy. I think he's just so cute, like a little hedgehog. And then there is his little paws. You got two paws that can be colored in, so it looks like his hands are just outside of the acorn. Just super adorable. I'm going to stamp both of those. I'm using Memento ink and then also stamping on Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. This is alcohol marker friendly cardstock. So I'll color in these images with my Copic markers, which I did leave in, and then I will list the colors for you. You can see I stamped 3 of my leaves, but I'm going to play some music while I color, and then when I am done coloring, I will catch you right back. Okay, coloring is all done. So easy to color, guys. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out, and we're going to die cut these out, but while we do some die cutting, we might as well die cut and paper piece too. This is a paper pad that's from Photoplay. It's part of their newest release, and if you're looking for a fall color paper pad, this is a really nice paper pad, guys. It's called Fall Plaids. Love the plaids in here. There's big, small, and then there's also some solid in two-tones, which is nice. I thought it'd be perfect for paper piecing, so I'm going to stamp the acorn on the plaid piece, and then I'm taking the solid image and we're going to stamp the top of the acorn. Since there's little detail pieces, I thought a solid would be better. Not detail pieces, but detail images. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, do my die cutting, and I'm going to go ahead and line them up. The leaf was the one that got me. But I'm going to line these up, die cut out my acorn with the white cardstock in the open area, and then the rest of them I'm going to just use the coordinating dice. Now the acorn and the acorn top I did fussy cut all the way to the edge. I'm going to go ahead and take my black Memento marker and just clean up those edges going around the sides with my black ink. This really does give a finished look, guys, and if you have any cutting imperfections, it really does help out. I'm going to go ahead and take my acorn top and do the same thing. Now if you wanted to stamp your acorn and your acorn top on that white cardstock rather than just die cut it, you could do that, but I didn't see the reasoning behind it, only because I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to it anyway. It just makes it easier because I don't have to line it up perfectly. This serves as two purposes. It kind of keeps with the white edge themed of my other Copic colored images, and it also gives me stability when I pop this up with foam adhesive. So dual purpose. Although the cardstock, the 6x6 paper pad is pretty thick stuff, so you don't necessarily have to add the white backing, but it's nice. Now I'm going to use my craft knife and I'm going to cut a hole in the very top. There is a line where I can cut. This way I can do a little tucking. And I didn't go all the way to the left and right. I didn't want those thin, I didn't want to be too thin. So rather than cut the acorn, I'm going to cut the hair on my hedgehog. I went up less than 1/8 of an inch. This way the body of the acorn, or the body of the hedgehog, can go in the acorn and the hair can go on the outside. Kind of, you can hardly kind of tell, but it makes it fit easier. There's the back side. Now I went ahead and used foam squares and popped everything up with foam adhesive so they're ready to go. And then we're going to do a little bit more die cutting. For my sentiment, I'm using another one of the Photoplay Say It with Stamps Grateful dies. Love this die set. It has the grateful and then it has the outline of the shadow. I'm going to die cut out the shadow with vellum. And then my grateful, you can see I have brown cardstock. I'm going to die cut out the grateful 3 times. This is going to give me a little bit of dimension with my sentiment. So we'll just carefully remove those sharp pieces off of my die, and then we will go ahead and die cut everything out, which I did. Now I'm going to glue all 3 of my gratefuls together, just using my little fancy glue. And then I like to adhere the first grateful to my vellum and then stack them from there. Either way, you can stack all 3 and then add your, it doesn't matter rhyme or reason which way you do this, but I like to add a first layer first so I know it's centered. This is going to go straight down the vellum. You can see how pretty that grateful is. There is a block sentiment that goes with this. I didn't pick that up, but there's a lot of secondary sentiments that you could block off that goes with the grateful. I'm going to go ahead and layer all 3 together. I love the way this looks. It just makes extra special, extra dimensional too. So that will be my sentiment for my card. Now for my back, we need a background to put all this stuff on, so I'm going to go ahead and add foam adhesive to this. So we're good to go. I'm bringing in some white cardstock, and then I'm going to use a die set. This die set I've had for a while, and it's from Sunny Studio, and it's called Stitched Arches. I like it because you can create tags out of these, and then there's double stitch lines. I'm taking the largest dome and die cutting out twice with white cardstock, and then I'll use another die set. These are polka dots. This is the Paper Smooches polka dot borders. I don't know if they still have these guys. If they do, I'll list it below. But I'm taking the smallest polka dot and just adding some dotted detail on the bottom of my tag. I die cut out 2 because I'm kind of going to extend the length of my dome, and to do that I just trimmed off the bottom, add adhesive behind that piece, and then tack this down just above my polka dots. So it just gives me about maybe a 1/3 of an inch more room. I didn't want to go too big, too long, because we're going to put this on the A2 size card base. Now to cover my seam, I'm bringing in some brown baker's twine. I have a whole bunch of baker's twine. I just don't use it enough, but I love it. I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow off to the right and cover that seam. Next, we're going to remove the release paper off of our grateful. We're going to place this just above the seam on our arch. Now I'm separating it because I'm thinking I need a little bit of something in the background, and I wanted to go ahead and maybe use an embossing folder and add some texture in the background. But I think we have enough texture going on, so I just left it plain, and I think our images are going to fill in that arch, so I think we're going to be good. But if you wanted to emboss that arch, you very well could. I'm going to fix my bow. Those creases in the baker's twine was kind of getting to me, so I'm going to chop them off. Now I'm going to add my hedgehog. He fits perfectly in the top of the arch area. And then we'll go ahead and add you could put the acorn top on top of his head. I'm going to have it next to the bottom of the acorn. We're going to go ahead and add his little paws hanging out, and I think that just makes it look extra adorable. And then I have my 3 leaves. We're going to go ahead and add 2 to the right of the card, and then 1 right below the acorn top. I'm going to flip this over. We'll add a foam adhesive behind it. And then we're going to bring in our card base. My card base today is an A2 size card. I have to trim my tape a little bit. I didn't want it going over my polka dots so you could see it. But I am going to bring in another piece of pattern paper from the Fall Plaid's 6x6 paper pad. This is a two-tone one, and I thought we would make a card front panel. So 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and we'll tape this down to our card front. And my whenever I do create my card bases, I do them all at once, and sometimes I don't get them perfect. The last time I had brought my ream of cardstock down to Office Depot, they were super busy, and they suggested I go to the UPS store that they have a cutting machine, so I did, and boy, they just gave me a hatch job on my cardstock. So I've been doing my own, but it's not very even, so that's my little story there. I just trimmed it off with my paper trimmer, so it evens it up. I think a little hair of a doesn't matter with your card bases. I did add a few little bubbles. These are tiny bubbles to my card just for a little bit of added shine, and that finishes my card for Try It Out Tuesday, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a lovely day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.